How's it going, everybody? It is Sam with BFPGear.com, and today's video is going to be answering a really famous question: what size tank should I get for my paintball marker? Now, there's no real good way to answer this with something that's definitive, except for, well, you should try different tanks on it and see how it feels in your hands. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got a handful of different tanks selected here, and we're going to find the perfect one for me on my Axe Pro so I can have a new air system for it. We'll see you after the intro. So I've got my marker. I've shown up at my paintball shop, or I'm shopping around online, and I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best air tank for me, at least size-wise for the bottle, to fit this Axe Pro and maybe fit my play style. Or in this case, I have these freakishly long, skinny arms. So I need to try some tanks on this thing and kind of get a perspective for what's going to fit me, better. So the first one that I picked here is going to be the HK Army 48 CI Alpha Air Tank. This is going to have that basic regulator on it, but these tanks are super small and super light, and they are absolutely phenomenal, and they look super awesome. But it is that, as we call it, the peanut size. So it is going to be like really short and stubby, but I don't know how it's going to feel. So shopping around for a tank, I'm going to try this 48 CI. Let's just see how it feels. So super small, super lightweight, which is the major benefit of it, at least for somebody like me. But if I were to try and play with this thing, like, my gun is already way up to my face, which is absolutely crazy. Like, this is way too small, at least for someone like me. But maybe, you're just getting into paintball. Maybe you have a pump gun. Maybe you want something that's smaller, more compact. Maybe you're very young and getting into it. I mean, this would be perfect if you have like really short arms, or if you just want something super small and lightweight. But for me, I'm gonna have to pass on the 48 CI. So the next size up I'm going to go to is going to be 68 cubic inch. I'm going to grab a couple of those, and we'll see you in a couple seconds. Well, the 48 CI tank was just way too small for me. So I'm stepping up in the food chain and going to the 68 cubic inch tank. Now, you notice that there's multiple 68 CI tanks in front of me here, and the reason for that is because not every bottle is made exactly the same. These are both 68 CI tanks, sure, but the bottles are going to be vastly different. For example, I've got the Empire Ultralight here, and this is a really, really small, short, and lightweight bottle, arguably one of the lightest and shortest on the market, but it's still 68 cubic inch, just like this Ninja Light. The Ninja Light, though, is going to be a little bit heavier, and it's going to be a little bit longer, which is probably something that I'm looking for because, again, I've got freakishly long arms. So we're going to start with the 68 CI from Empire here and see how it feels on my marker. So let's go ahead and thread the system in. There we go. All right, so it's threaded in. Bring it up, and okay, so this feels a lot better for me. Still maybe a little too short, because when I bring it up, it's still almost hitting my nose, which means it's still too close to my face, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the Empire 68, and I'm going to try that Ninja 68 on there. See how that feels. All right, so let's see, the Ninja 68, bring it up. So it's a little bit farther from my nose. So this is probably, I would say this is probably the tank that I want to go with. I do wish it was a little bit longer though, because again, my personal comfort, but this feels a lot better. Like, you can notice that there is a larger gap from the back of the gun to my nose, which means there's enough space for me to have a goggle system on. And when I bring my gun up with the loader on and all of the attachments, it's not going to smack my lens and scratch it, or, just hit me right in the face. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the Ninja Light 68. But there's still plenty of other size tanks to go shop around for, so I think I'm going to grab the next size up, which is going to be a 77. So I've tried the 48 CI tank. I've tried the 68 CI tanks, I've tried different ones, and so far I'm gravitating towards that Ninja Lite. But there's still other options out there. So this one I have here is my personal SL2 Ninja 77 CI tank, which is technically what I do use on this marker because it fits me perfectly, but there's still more sizes after this one. But we'll do the thing anyway, and I'm gonna go ahead and thread this in and just see how it feels. All right, so it threads in and then bring it up, and this feels amazing. This is already really good for me. The gap between the back of the gun to my nose, to my face, is just a little bit larger, but it's just large enough to where I can wear goggles no problem. And if I have a loader on this full of paint and I bring it up, I'm definitely not hitting my goggles in any way, shape, or form. So I definitely am more inclined to get the Ninja SL277. I feel like this is the perfect length for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I'm going to put it off to the side, and then I'm going to go up a size and grab me an 80 CI tank and see how that feels. So we just tried the Ninja SL2 77 CI tank, and that felt really, really good on my current marker. So I have that one off to my right, and then to my left here is one of the HK Army tanks. This is the Aolite 80 CI tank. It is a little bit bigger than that 77, but it does look a little noticeably longer. So let's go ahead and thread it onto here and just see how it feels. Now there is a tank size after this. There is the 90 CI tanks from Ninja, but let's see how the 80 feels first. All right, so the 80 feels really good. I do like the 80 CI tank, but it feels just a little too long for my comfort. Maybe if it was just like half an inch shorter, or basically the size of that 77 right there, it would be perfect. But it doesn't feel bad. It just feels a little too long. But maybe I liked one of the 68 bottles a lot and wanted to extend the length on it. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Empire 68, and then I'm going to grab a tank extender and see how that feels compared to the 77. Well, I've tried every size tank that I could grab, except for the 90 CI tank, because if the 80 was too large, the 90 is definitely going to be too big of a tank for my setup. But I did really like how this 68 cubic inch tank felt, but it was just a little too short. Well, you can always pick up a Regulator Extender. This one is from HK Army. It's priced at $19.95. Comes in a variety of different colors, and all you do is you just thread it onto the top of the tank. And doing that is just going to extend the length by about a full inch. So now that I have this reg extender on it, maybe it's going to feel a lot better when I thread it into my marker setup. So go ahead and do that. All right, so it's threaded in, and let's just do a little, let's bring it up. Oh yeah, so this feels almost exactly like the 77. It's almost the same exact length, it's almost the same exact feel, but one thing that I do notice that's a little bit more comfortable is that there is a larger gap from the neck of the bottle all the way to the marker itself, giving me a little bit more space for my arm to sit there. So maybe if you have like some big forearms or something like that, maybe a reg extender would be something for you because they just feel more comfortable overall. But I don't know, I do like this setup too. But I still gravitate towards that 77. I just feel like the 77 is nice because, well, I didn't have to add an extra piece to it. But what this shows you is that if you did find a tank that you really, really liked, but it was just too short, well, you can just add a tank extender to it and get a perfect length if you need it. And there you have it. How to shop around for the perfect size tank for your paintball setup. It's a really hard question to answer, especially when you're shopping around for tanks online, but hopefully this gave a little bit of perspective. If you do have the ability to go to a paintball store and try different tanks on your marker setup, I'd highly recommend doing so you find the perfect size for you. Usually, we always recommend a 68 CI tank to start off with to see how that feels. If it feels too short, then you just move up a size. If it feels too small, then you move down a size to like the 48 CI from HK Army. And if you can't find that perfect like in-between size, or maybe you just want to add a little bit of extra length to your air system, you can always pick up one of the HK Army Reg Extenders. They come in a variety of different colors, so you can color coordinate and match with your setup, or you can just pick one up so you can just elongate your air tank, just like I did with this Ultralight 68 to make it feel almost like this 77. If you know exactly what size tank you want to get and which one to get, well, you can pick one up right now on BFPGear.com. And if you like videos like this, well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. That way you get notified when the next video comes out. We'll see you soon.